Javs, aka Javatronia.
And Mechatronus, aka Nex.
And we have another Alt.Geeks show and tell. So we have here the Duocon Battletrap, which is a combination of Battleslash, Legends class, and Roadtrap.
I don't really remember this guy growing up. I remember seeing the toys, like my friends having it, but it was sort of out of the range of the Transformers I was collecting at the time, or as far as the Transformers I was interested in. So I really don't know too much about this guy, but we heard a lot of good things about him.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know who he was. We saw, some feeds with him, and we saw him in the store a couple times. We're like, should we? Should we not? Should we? Should we not? And so we kind of looked it up, and we decided to go for it. It was kind of unique. It's a duo combiner.
Yeah, there's nothing else like him out there right now. So after seeing him shell forming, we just decided just go ahead and pick him up, because we know one day he won't be out there, and it's always when you're looking for a figure that you can't find him anymore.
Yes, definitely. One we probably would have put off for a while, but I'm glad we picked him up when we did.
But yeah, we're glad to have him.
Yes, we are.
I mean, you looked him up, like what kind of background does he got?
Well, basically, they are two Decepticons that love to antagonize Autobots. So they're in the midst of battle. Battleslash is known to have a giant ego, and Roadtrap is a liar. And other than that, there's really not a whole lot of back history, other than information about where they're at in the comics and things.
Yeah, aren't they more prevalent in the comics?
Yeah, they are more prevalent in the comics, so it's more about their story, but no back history on them. Their robot modes are formed from the combination of two separate vehicles that do not have another transformation.
So that's pretty cool that these guys actually came with their own individual robot modes, but
yeah,
I guess originally they didn't have robot modes? They're just talking vehicles?
Pretty much. And this is their robot mode, is known to be as a combination of them together.
Fusion, ha!
Yeah, fusion.
As you can see from the head sculpt, he's got a pretty sweet mold going on there. I mean, he's got a lot of great looking details, some paint apps, all combined. He looks pretty good. I like the yellow on his feet and what is that? Fuchsia? Red? Whatever.
Yeah, I think it's a red. It's a nice cherry red.
I like his Decepticon symbols on his shin guards there.
I do too. That's the one thing I like about the Decepticons, is a lot of times their symbols look really cool compared to the Autobots. So I do like sculpt and some of the paint apps, especially in combined form. He looks a lot more complete. Proportionate. Considering their Legends class size individually, there's some decent molds on there, and the paint apps are pretty sweet.
Decent details?
Yeah.
Show some articulation.
Alright. His head basically just turns 360. Due to transformation, there's a little bit that you can get a tilt forward out of. And then his arms and shoulders are on a ball joint, so he does have full 360 rotation and a little extended shoulder.
Well, that's actually...
But it's supposed to be pushed in, so a little pressure there on the shoulder and it can come out. Elbow also on a ball joint, so you get the swivel, elbow swivel.
Was it 90-degree bend or so?
Yeah, 90-degree bend, and no wrist or hand articulation. He does have a little waist swivel there, and so the leg can actually get pretty decent movement back and forth, and then also outward. We have a thigh swivel. Now this part's a little tricky. His knee is actually right up here, and that's about as far as you get alone. But there's a little trick here, because his arm is in the way here from him being able to bend any further. So you can either just move it out a little bit to get a little bit more bend in there. So this is where you can just kind of slightly unpeg it. Now it goes like full 90 degree. So you just have to make little adjustments, make way for it to be able to move. So there's an extra joint in there so we can get a little tilt action along with toe tilt. So it adds for a lot more posability. And we have a little bonus feature here of an ab crunch.
you do the transformation, you get a little extra ab crunch in there. But only so much.
Yeah, not too much. So it can aid in your posing.
Yeah, so all in all, this guy has some really good articulation. You get some really cool action poses out of him. Surprisingly, considering he's just a combination of two legend figures.
Yeah, definitely, because you'll see soon that as legend figures, they don't have as much articulation, so they did a really good job at being able to provide a lot more in combined mode.
Well, let's take a look at him in his alt mode.
Alright, here we have Battleslash and Roadtrap in their vehicle alt modes. Originally, Battleslash is supposed to be an Apache helicopter, so some likeness of a helicopter, a long body and all that. And then Roadtrap is supposed to be originally a Ford F-150 camper truck, so more modern SUV-ish, you know. It has a similar presence, helicopter and truck-like vehicle alt modes.
Roadtrap looks like a mini Transformers Prime breakdown.
Yeah. I do like their alt modes here. They have some nice features. Roadtrap has a lot of extra paint apps. The yellow and the red definitely add a bit to the look of his vehicle mode. And some of the silver, the grille, looks really nice. The helicopter... Overall, Battleslash has pretty minimal paint apps, but they do add some blue into his color scheme.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, for little legend dudes.
Yeah, not too much kibble or extra weirdness in weird places.
I think that might be mistransformed, but that's cool. It works.
Probably a little bit better. Not so much of an open backspace.
But yeah, they're cool. They're pretty neat. They could pass for a truck and helicopter, but they don't scale with anything. So, other than for pictures, I think they serve their purpose.
They do. All right, let's check out these guys' robot mode.
Alright guys, now we got these two fellas in their robot alt modes, or yeah, the robot modes.
Yeah, they're not too shabby for Legends, but I kind of like the dynamic of their paint apps, the way they look for the Legends class. Pretty neat looking. They have a lot of character. Head sculpts are pretty decent.
Yeah, pretty decent looking dudes. Everything is on a ball joint, so we won't go through the articulation, except for their heads being on a mushroom peg.
Yeah.
Everything is on a ball joint, so they're pretty posable just within, you know, just themselves without being combined.
Yeah. Not bad.
You know, not knowing these characters anyway, but I don't know if they even had alt modes in the original G1 iterations of them, but yeah, it's nice to have them have their own robot modes now.
Yes. Funny little ideas. When we first took out Battleslash, he definitely had a mini Megatron feel to him. Just couldn't really help it. Just kind of has the look and the demeanor, maybe the wide chest area, color scheme. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely that with that blade on his arm and his overall color scheme, and even his head sculpt looks like a cross between Astrotrain and Megatron. But yeah, he looks like a little Minitron, a mini Megatron.
Yes.
All right, let's do some comparisons for some scale. Okay, before we go to compare them in their combined mode, here's just comparison with Parlor Prime's Deluxe Moon Racer, just to give you an idea how they scale against Deluxe.
Yep. Short stubby guys. At least they're just above waist level, or maybe right at waist at best. Now let's take a look at what they look like combined. Alright, and then we got a nice crew here for size comparison.
Yeah, we didn't know who to line him up with, not knowing where he came from. Stranger?
I know. So did a little digging and found that, you know, he dabbled here and there with a few of these guys.
Yeah, he scales pretty good. As you can see, he's not quite full deluxe. You know, he's like a head shorter, but no big deal. Still pretty awesome for two legends. But you can see we got two legends class figures right next to him.
Yeah, and we just picked these up from a local collector, Jamal. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the hookup, Jamal.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Decepticon clones look pretty cool with him.
They do. I think he fits in pretty well. As you can see when he's lined up here, you know, he doesn't look too awkward or out of place. He definitely, color scheme wise, works his way in really nice, and staying with more of the chug look, he looks really good. So he was a decent addition to our collection, even though we didn't really know who he was.
And yeah, he looks really good with that Voyager Galvatron and that Leader Class 6 shot. Fits right in, looks right at home.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad we got him. He was shelf warming for a little bit, so I'm glad we picked him up when we could, because I have actually noticed that I haven't seen him as much recently.
No, he definitely has disappeared from the shelves since we picked him up. So if you do, see him out there, I would pick up the pair.
Even if you don't know who he is either, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he is really cool looking. We like him. He's a keeper.
They're all keepers.
Yes. They are all keepers.
Alright guys, well thanks for sticking around and hanging out.
Thanks for joining us for Battleslash and Roadtrap Duocon Battletrap Power of the Primes.
Sweet. Alright guys, talk to you later. Peace out.
Goodbye.